What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of DevTalks with your host Travian. And I just want to say thank you every single week. We come here and talk about engineering and technology on a weekly basis, and we've been growing on a weekly basis. So I just want to say thank you. There's so much more work ahead, and I really appreciate it all. So I really want to start off with that. This week we have a great episode. Gonna dive into more stuff like we usually do. Some of the same topics, but the stories are growing every week. So we're here to cover it all. So just grab your snacks and let's dive right in. All right, and we're back. So to get this started, we're talking about OpenAI. We've been talking about them for a long time and a while. Man, they definitely find their ways back into the mix on a weekly basis. It is astonishing. Oh, no, but for real. So on a real note, OpenAI, I don't know if a lot of you guys remember or not, but they they had that incident last year in December, I believe, end of November, beginning of December, where they end up letting go or kicking Sam Altman off the board, and then they had to end up bringing him back because they went to Microsoft, all this other stuff. He was going to start his own company, and all this other drama that happened, basically. But they ended up bringing him back, and now they're apparently announcing that him and a few new board members have been added. So we're gonna figure all that out today. And give more details onto what happened, why they exactly decide this choice. I have an idea why they made this decision, but I don't like to assume. So we're gonna see if they give us some more insight and knowledge around this topic. But without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It helps out the algorithm a lot and is very appreciative. But let's dive right in.
We've got some more details in the OpenAI board changes. Let's get back to Steve Kovac for some details. Steve.
Hey there, Melissa. Yeah, OpenAI making it official now, naming several new board members, including Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is returning to the board. They also issued a summary of the report that looked into his ouster and all the drama around that. But first, let's go over the new board members. The new ones are Dr. Sue Desmond-Hellmann, former CEO of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, also Nicole Seligman, the former EVP and general counsel of Sony, and Fiji Simo, we know her very well. She's the CEO of Instacart, and like I said, Sam Altman. And the other board members are staying there. That's Adam D'Angelo, Larry Summers, and Brett Taylor, the former Salesforce and Facebook or Twitter board member, that is. And then let me go over what happened here in the review. So this was done by the law firm Wilmer Hale over the last several months around the ouster. And some of their findings include that the prior board did have the authority and discretion based on what they called, quote, to mitigate internal management challenges. That's why they fired him. They had the right to do it, but they also found it had nothing to do with product safety or finances or investor relations or anything like that that's been kind of going around. However, they also found that he should not have been fired. They said let me quote here from the release, quote, his conduct did not mandate removal. And also saying that the prior board did not think that their actions were going to cause the upset and turmoil that did. But really very broad here. We don't have the full ins and outs of the investigation. I will also just one more important thing. They are saying they're going to change the governance of OpenAI here. They're not saying exactly how, but they're going to review those guidelines. That, of course, is a major issue, this interesting nonprofit structure they have. So hopefully more details on that to come, Mel.
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of let that play out fully just to get all the details and things, because one of the major things that I myself have just wondered, as far as like companies in general, how are these boards making decisions and things like that? Like, how are these decisions being made? And then also, who are these people on the board? And I don't even know if the prior board, how many of them either left or got kicked off the board, because they didn't provide any information about that. But it was weird, that whole like kick firing him and things like that across the board. It was did not mean to use that word there, but the firing across the board didn't really make too much sense, and then they ended up bringing Sam back, and I guess those are like some good reasons on why they. I guess they had a legitimate reason for that one specific thing, but all the other stuff, I guess it just didn't even matter. And then you also have um them, they didn't even believe he should have gone anywhere to begin with. I honestly think him leaving that little bit of time set OpenAI back a certain amount. Don't know how much it set him back, but it did bring him a little bit back in the race because they had to deal with all that drama and things from that standpoint. Another thing is I didn't know board members where many CEOs or other board. It's crazy how related a lot of these companies are high up. Like, what does it take to become a board member? What does it take to, how do you say, like, how are you a CEO of one company and a board member on the other? Like, things like that. I've always been curious about how they all tie in with each other and how these people play roles that make those huge decisions. Because I know when you invest in companies, you can vote on certain things depending on how much you're invested in things along that line. But hey, man, that's just what's coming out of here. Things, but it was a nice short video, and that I really believe it was a good idea to bring Sam back. Having him out was a very bad choice to really start with, and now they have new people. So I'm really curious how these other new members that they didn't name out, how they are going to fare with making decisions as the year goes on. They did say they had four other ones on the board. Now it's a total of, I believe, 8 people. I think they fully listed out that are on OpenAI's board and going through the day to day with it. So I'm really curious what's going to be going on. But all news ain't always good news. So around the same time that that was announced, actually a little bit before that was announced, there was some information about OpenAI doing some discriminatory things, and Bloomberg apparently did some investigation. I haven't seen this yet, so I'm gonna hold my opinions for the end because they did some research on their own. So we're gonna see how OpenAI is carrying with jobs because nobody's perfect. As great as OpenAI is doing, if this is true, then I'm telling you, none of these places are perfect. And I'm really curious on how they're discriminating and ranking the resumes and everything because getting a job has been so difficult lately, especially for engineers and things like that. So if OpenAI is doing this, how many other companies are doing this? And I'm hoping to figure this out and come to a conclusion by the end of this. So before we dive into this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the algorithm. And let's see.
Here's something you need to know. Companies are eager to use generative AI to filter candidates, but Bloomberg found that OpenAI's GPT discriminates against names when ranking resumes. Inspired by landmark studies, Bloomberg conducted an experiment. We came up with 800 demographically distinct names from public records and randomly assigned them to equally qualified resumes. We then prompted GPT 3.5 to rank the resumes for a financial analyst job opening. Doing this once doesn't show bias, so we repeated this thousands of times. If GPT was fair, each group would be ranked at the top equally, 1/8 of the time. Instead, names distinct to Black Americans were the least likely to be top ranked. Adverse impact is a standard used to test hiring practices for discrimination. In our tests, the difference between groups was substantial enough to surpass benchmarks for adverse impact, including each of the 4 jobs that we tested for. GPT's bias varies. For example, GPT preferred names distinct to women for an HR role, adhering to stereotypes. Why does this happen? OpenAI uses embeddings, a way to represent each word numerically, based on how they're used in natural language. Names from the same racial and ethnic groups clustered together in OpenAI's embeddings. Bloomberg's analysis shows that for GPT, a name alone is enough to lead to racialized outcomes.
That is actually insane.
At the top, equally.
I want to see this one chart. So at least it's not OpenAI um deliberately going out of their way and basically doing this for their, unless they use their own chatbot to skim through um resumes. Unless they're doing that to skim through their own resumes, then it may not be on them. Maybe it's more of a less of, hey, this is more of a study on how are ChatGPT going to be ranking these names and resumes. And they did a whole study. I guess they said they tested 1,000 different cases, but how is their own software ranking people that can potentially get a job and be ranked higher for better candidates and stuff? And this is crazy because it not only separated it by race, he also said something about gender as well too. So if we look over at this chart of their test, the top ranked 32% Asian, 25% white, 25% Hispanic, 18% black as far as top ranks. Bottom ranks 22% Asian, 24% white, 25% Hispanic, and 29% black. So, as a black person, I already know for a lot of these positions where many black people come into working in the workforce and these corporate positions. There are not a lot of us. In my own job, there is not a lot of us. As far as everybody in the company goes, there's not a lot of black people in software engineering that have a bunch of jobs. It's very rare. Like for these positions, when I meet consultants and financial analysts, I really there you really don't see a lot of black people. The next would be Hispanic people, and then you have white and Asian people who are normally in these roles. I kid you not. So what I think this is doing instead is it's looking at, I don't know, and one, I don't know how it's trained, but it's this matches up with the current industry. And I'm a believer of the best people should get the best jobs, period, and stuff. Like overall, the best people, if you're best and you can learn a certain way, your culture fit, it doesn't matter by gender and race, the best people should get the best jobs. I 100% agree with that statement of things. But if you have a skimmer like this, maybe somebody who is not as qualified, people who are not as qualified, are getting demoted down just because of their name or gender, because of how it groups everybody's names together and things. If you use this, it can definitely cause some trouble, because what it's going to do is a lot of people who are in those lower ends for a position, even if they're more qualified than some people in these two zones, in the Asian or the white zones, or the blue or pink zones, they're not in there. And maybe there's even some people in the bottom rank that um deserve to be up here, that are white and Asian, that need to go on this side or the other side, but they're ranked down because they're a certain gender and whatnot. But this is this is how they ranked it. They said,
Well,
what
no.
did they say? Let's look at this. How often names distinct to black men were ranked? 17.2% of runs. This is how they ranked everything. Mainly Asian people are all up here. Mainly the black people are all down here, and it looks like white and Hispanic are very mixed, based off all the runs. And I'm trying to find the best way to like. I think I think it might. This could be just a standard. Hey, this is trained on how stuff is currently being, and AI, the state that AI is in, it's no way of making rational decisions and things like that. Maybe it can be fine tuned for resume specific stuff, and it just hasn't gotten that training that it needs to be able to find the right candidates no matter name or gender. Resumes definitely should not be ranked before name or gender. They should definitely be ranked by the skill set, what's on there, and a bunch of other things. Um, and your rate, it shouldn't be ranked by race either. If you're qualified, you're qualified at the end of the day. I'm a software engineer. I became qualified a certain way. I got a job. It's great. I love what I'm doing. I'm pretty good at what I'm doing and talking to certain people in certain areas and things. And I feel like the culture that I'm in is one of the best cultures that I've ever worked in. And I've only had two jobs, but it I promise you, based on like what I hear from other stuff, it is a very great culture. And I just don't think this should just be something that's being used right now as a template because if you're just looking at all these charts, it's just not the best. And they're using GPT 3.5, so this wasn't the fully updated. This isn't 4. It's not the fully updated Chat GPT, but like, dang, best treated are just Asian people in general based off of Chat GPT for the 4 roles overall. They said they only gave us one role. I wonder what the other 3 roles were. How often black men were 44% often names distinct to black men were ranked first relative to best treated group. Oh, okay. So this is a chart that shows, I guess the boxes means how many were ranked in the best treated. So if I look at this, Asian women were ranked 100% as best treated in the resume thing. Asian men were probably at like 90. White men, white women were ranked towards, and he could have said this is a HR position too. I think he said for women things. So I think this might be one of the HR positions that they did this test on for that role. White woman's a little bit 78%, Hispanic woman 75, Hispanic men 71, 72, yeah, 72, 71 for white men, 59 for black women, and then 44% for black men. Hey, so yeah, that's tough. That is tough. That's something that some people have to really go over and deal with because I'm really lost on words on what to exactly say for that whole scenario, but it is crazy because one thing that I can probably say is it's probably showing the disparity of the workforce market for certain positions that are currently going on. And I think it's probably close to what that disparity is. That difference between gender and race is probably what it's like for those certain roles. I bet you they tested as well. So I find it very wild and crazy, but hey, it's just showing what the state of the job market is right now for those positions. But maybe it can be fine tuned to be better for better jobbing and finding better positions and better workers and things like that. But speaking on AI and jobs, we have a good one because this one right here, we've been talking the past few weeks on how AI has been affecting jobs, and I think they are going to show you how much it's going to be affecting jobs. And I bet you somebody is going to say, I still did not look into this man. This is reminding me about him, but I believe this is going to show me some of the stuff that I've said before in previous weeks are going to come back again this week. And they're going to just further prove my points right here. So I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I can't agree with it. I'm just guessing. But before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tune in for the share for the algorithm, and let's see.
scarcity of roles or a scarcity of the skilled workers we need to meet that hiring demand in the AI context. Do you think that that's right?
First of all, I'm thrilled to be here, and especially on a day that shows some of the potential of AI and value creation that I believe we will continue to see in the market. I think when you talk about AI and talent and opportunity, we can't really underscore that we're just at the beginning of this massive wave. And today, we absolutely have deep specialists who have been living, breathing, sleeping AI for years. But what really matters right now is who has been doing on-the-ground generative AI applications built on top of these large language models. These models have only really been accessible to a broader population for a year. And so that population of people who really has the experience that companies actually need to do this well, to do this right, is limited.
Okay, what is Tribe seeing in the jobs market? We know jobs are being added in this context or industry, but what are the roles, right? All these companies are saying, we're using
Do y'all see this? This is insane. Look what 1 year of OpenAI showing what they're doing with AI and AI becoming available to the public did to all these companies. 0% of them are on the don't know portion. That means every single company that was surveyed never said they don't know yet. They haven't made a decision. That means every company made a decision on what they're doing with AI or not. Only 4% out of the 100 companies, or not the 100 companies, 4% out of 100% of the companies said they have no plans on using AI at all. None. None whatsoever. 12% are saying that they're trying to see what use cases they can use within their company and AI and things like that. And 84% are using it. Does this not look like something safe to go into, or does this look like a trend? Because this is how much that she was just saying they don't have enough people to really find the talent to do everything they want to do yet with it. They just don't have it. They don't got it like that. That's what she's saying. She just said that. Now, how true is it? How true is it? I don't know. I can't tell you how true it is. But the one thing I can tell you is that AI for the next few years is going to be running things. It's scary. But if you're looking for jobs, and if you're looking to dive into something and you're not going to be too late to the punch, they're like, they want to give it to you. They want to give you the job. You get an AI job. You get an AI job. You get one. You get one. They doing everything with AI now. Every company knows what they're doing with AI. 0% said they don't know. That's how important it is to these companies right now. 0% of them said that they don't know.
using AI.
I see that as something big. I really see that as this statistically, I see it as something big.
AI, but who are they hiring as a result of that?
Yeah, this is an incredibly interesting moment because I believe we are kind of at a real inflection point where the conversation around AI has been around efficiency, around cost cutting, and potentially the fears have been around job reductions. And I believe where we're headed.
And she just said another thing that I've been saying for weeks. AI has been used for efficiency, productivity. I've just dropped a bunch of reels and stuff on that earlier. They need to get me up here. They need to get me up here. I know things now. I'm learning about this. By the end of this year, my specialty on all these tech companies is going to be so crazy. It's going to be so wild. Oh my gosh. My knowledge on what's going on in this world with technology. I already have family members coming to me asking me about stuff. What's going on? Hey man, NVIDIA did this. NVIDIA did that. OpenAI doing this. Microsoft doing this. Meta's doing this. Apple's doing this. AMD's doing this. All these other companies are doing that. Let's carry on.
Is that there will absolutely be efficiency gains, but that's going to become table stakes. Where we're going is AI used for innovation, for product growth. Examples like ServiceNow using AI and already being able to cite quantitative value that it has contributed already millions of dollars to net new ACV. And this is where I think we have the potential to look at value creation from AI, not just on the bottom line and the top line, but also on jobs and opportunities for people that extend far beyond just the builders themselves, but also the people who are thinking about the commercial implications of these technologies, the legal and compliance implications, the operational challenges, the data and back-end engineering needs. There's so many pieces that we're really looking at AI as a new wave to how do you develop products and how do you commercialize those products? And that's the interesting conversation.
And it's also therefore interesting that basically you've gone in with a consultancy model, because it feels as though you have to be integrated into every single part of a business now. I mean, this is going up from the CEO and the CTO, but to basically people who are going to be practically using this. How do you get that buy-in from a company in every part?
You're exactly right, and I would actually say it starts even higher, which is at the board level. So right now, all the boards are yelling at their CEOs and saying, what's your AI strategy? All the CEOs are yelling at their team and saying, what's your AI strategy? And everyone's saying, I don't know.
Yes.
That's why 0% said, I don't know. I bet you the boards went to all these companies, said, you better do something with this AI. Look at Sam Altman. Sam Altman wasn't even safe from his board until he got brought back. Because what was going to happen with that company? Oh my gosh, it would have been the greatest downfall in history. Oh my gosh. That would have been the greatest downfall in history if OpenAI lost Sam Altman. And what happened there? Whew. These boards were telling these CEOs, you better get this AI stuff nice and ready. It looking hot right now. 84% of them already using it like this in less than a year. Another 12 are testing out use cases. And only 4 little companies are like, yeah, we don't need the innovation. We don't need the extra efficiency, productivity. We don't need none of that. We don't need to use it for any of that stuff. Only 4% said that. And guess how many said they don't know? 0% of them said that they do not know. Yo. Boards run the world.
Less yelling.
Yes, less yelling across the board. Maybe they're nicely asking. But the point is that
look at the companies here. OpenAI, Google, Tesla, NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, Anthropic. I don't even know what this is. What's Anthropic? Anthrop-C. We're going to look it up. Oh my gosh. What did they do? Their AI company? Oh, they got their own API? Hold on. AI research and products for safety and stuff. Our work. Introduce the next of Claude. Why had I never heard of this company before? They got roles. Open roles. They got business operations. They got design roles. brand designer, web engineer. They got engineering roles for different platforms, iOS, Android, software engineer for ML systems, finance systems, trust and safety for deployed solutions architect, manager, technical program manager. Like, that's all the engineering department right there. Look at all these different departments: security, sales, research, engineering manager, fine tuning infrastructure. Look, all these, look, engineering stuff, research engineer. Look at this stuff. Hybrid. Where they even at? San Francisco, remote, remote friendly, travel required. So you can work. You have to go into the office for them. They are in New York. This is wild, yo. You even get a pension. Oh no, this is UK benefits. Oops. Yeah. Yo, that's wild, man. I didn't even know about this company. We're gonna have to do some learning about Anthropic. I don't know. I've never heard of them before. Nobody's been covering them lately, but we definitely gonna do some more searching on who they are, because that's weird. That's crazy. 500 engineers from top AI companies. Like, Microsoft not on here, but it's like, nah, they work with OpenAI, so.
Every company today wants or needs to become an AI company, and they don't know how. And that's really where Tribe comes in. We can help meet and work with companies at every stage of that kind of adoption.
That's what Tribe. I saw this here. Tribe AI's CEO. So they are like consultants for these companies to help them on how to implement AI in their companies. So they working with 500 employees from those companies. Okay, I put two and two together now. I've put it together.
Adoption journey, and then work with them to build products that actually matter for their business, that really add real value to their companies, can showcase the success and make it really tangible rather than this, buzzword soup, and then get them on this sort of train or journey to continuing to invest in AI in ways that really make sense and do real things.
The demand is clear, and I'm sure your business is thriving on the back of it. But talk to us about the supply side issue. You've got to bring in the right engineers who I am sure are being offered plenty of permanent jobs at extraordinary offerings in terms of their salary. Why work with a Tribe AI? Why be a consultant? Why be a freelancer?
Yeah, this is a trend that I spotted years ago, which is that the people who really have the expertise, particularly in AI, have worked at just a handful of companies. Google, Amazon, Netflix, take your pick. And not everyone wants to stay at those companies, despite the cushy jobs and the large salaries. And especially right now in this moment of intense AI demand that you just described, the demand for these talented folks is off the charts. And so they have their choice of these very massive bloated salaries right now at these big companies, but that comes with a lot of bureaucracy, that comes with being tied up at that company and potentially some IP constraints, that they can't really innovate outside of their jobs. And if they are independent, what they come to Tribe for is the opportunity to really plug in on the work they're best at, to not do any of the boring meetings and bureaucracy stuff, but do the hard engineering that they know how to do better than anyone else, add a ton of value. And there's a lot of mutual value where companies are getting outsized value from working with the right AI engineers who have the on-the-ground experience to deliver value. And the AI engineers are getting tremendous learnings from working at the cutting edge and bringing these models to life in.
All right, so that was basically a huge ass ad for them, for her company that she worked for. So they're basically a bunch of consultants that help these companies because they don't have enough employees, to fulfill their need and develop their AI platforms. So, I mean,
Shares of Apple dip.
That's what she did. She came on the news to promote her company. But yeah, I didn't. That's actually, I wonder what it's like to. I seen a lot of companies hire consultants for different reasonings and things like that. I wonder what it's like to work for those companies who go to other companies to help them out and things like that. The news anchor did say that you can get a lot more, those people can get full-time roles at these companies and stuff, and of course they are outsourcing around 500, or her network is 500 engineers or over that amount. But that is very curious. Not only that company, I might do some more research in her company just to see like what's really going on. Like the point of this is to really learn and see what's going on with what's going on with getting engineering jobs and tech and engineering and stuff like that. So if this impacts engineering jobs, I really wonder how two and two are going related. And then I'm also curious about more on this company because I never heard of them before. Never heard of them before until today. So once again, another gold star for learning something new. You know, but I need to know more. I feel I don't feel satisfied. I feel like I'm more lost after for a few of the stuff that, because I just don't know all the details around what they were doing and stuff. And yeah, she tried to pitch her company and was talking about what they do and stuff, but they just went under the radar for this long, and then now they're out and open. If you knew about Tribe or the other company, the AI company, let me know in the comments because I'm curious. I'm curious here. All right, but next things next. Apple. Something about AI, and it looks like they got themselves into more of a mess. So we are going to see if is it really a mess, or is it some good news for once. The last few times I've covered Apple has been strictly negative. No more electric car, no more Vision. I mean, Vision Pro's getting returned. It's just, it doesn't seem like everything's floating in a boat right now. We did talk about some of the AI that they brought up. So let's hopefully this is just some good news for once. Maybe it's some development around the AI and things, and that's it. But let's take a peek. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the algorithm.
Shares of Apple dipping about 3% today after unveiling this pair of new MacBook models, including a bold claim that the machine is, quote, the world's best consumer laptop for AI. That's the focus of today's Tech Check with Deirdre Bosa. Morning, Dee.
Hey, good morning, Carl. So what exactly does the world's best consumer laptop do? Basically, better camera features, speech-to-text, translation, autofill, etc. More of an evolution of stuff that we already have, that our iPhones already do, and that we expect versus something more groundbreaking, like, for example, a new Siri chatbot. And that may not be enough. As investors, they're getting impatient searching for Apple's AI strategy. Shares are down nearly 10% this year, and they're down 3% today. The release of an AI laptop, this highlights an upsell cycle strategy, the idea that Apple can leverage AI features to its products to encourage customers to upgrade or pay for additional services. Samsung is already trying to do this with its latest Galaxy smartphone lineup, and it is likely that Apple is going to...
Samsung ain't trying. Samsung said they doing it. They said they doing it. Guess who's gonna have a new phone in a few weeks? This guy. He's gonna have a new phone in a little bit, man. I'm telling you. Samsung said they gonna do it. They ain't say they wasn't gonna do it. It's up to Apple to compete. Right now, you have to compete. Your event wasn't as soon as Samsung's. Your event's almost 6 months after Samsung's. You have to show something good for your consumers. Because that 10% and 3% in the last 2 days is going to become 50. Um, yeah, Apple has that, and look at even the title right here. Apple plays AI catch up. They playing catch up for everything. They're literally playing catch up for everything. They've been doing it for years. I feel like Apple has the stuff. They just will hold on to it for as long as possible, and maybe leave that to just a scheduling thing. But I don't know. How faithful are y'all in this? Y'all think they catching up, need to catch up and stuff? I'm more curious about these product. Like you're talking about, it's the world best computer for AI. Like I bet you it's gonna be that giant dock thing that costs 20 grand that they're updating for AI, and that's the world's best computer, and that's so annoying. It like it says laptop, but who freaking knows at this point? I am more impatient because I want to see this event already. I want to see the new stuff that they've came out with and go on from there. That's what I'm looking forward to from Apple.
To do this again with new iPhone models. Now, the street, though, is divided on whether it's enough, whether that can get Apple caught up in this AI race. Melius Research writing this morning, forget the car. What matters most for this stock is the AI strategy launch coming in June. Now, for them, it is the most important launch since the iPhone that it says could drive a super cycle. So that would certainly change the thesis there. But as investors, they await this potentially, and I highlight potentially big announcement, others in the space are pushing forward. Today, Gen AI startup darling Anthropic debuted Claude 3. That is its most powerful chatbot yet. Google's Gemini launch, we've been talking a lot about it. It was a mess, but it continues to
So you telling me y'all trying to blame this on Apple? What are we in? 140 right now? Google is down 3.5%. They're down 3.5% for the 2 day. Apple is only down 3. Them dropping 3% ain't because of what's going on for AI and stuff right now. No, I'm just saying that. Like, yeah, they're gonna be dropping because everybody's expecting this thing, but I actually seen some stuff about I seen some stuff about a lot of CEOs and owners taking out money. So all their stocks are dropping right now, and they're waiting for people to sell out so that they can put their money back in there and it can just grow right back. I heard a lot of people saying that CEOs and the billionaires and whatever and the people with the money are all doing this right now just so that they can make more. And they're just doing that this time of the year because Google's Google's doing worse right now. And Nvidia has been going down crazy recently. And this is what they're not going to tell you in this one video. Like, you really have to be up to date and know what's going on, or you'll see this one thing and be like, oh yeah, Apple sucks. But they snitched on themselves right here. Google down too. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to have Gemini and the Samsungs and all that stuff, but they're down. So that makes me think that it's not an Apple thing right now. It's another thing. So I'm really curious about how that all is going to just play out. But we gonna see. We gonna see.
To test to get it right, and by the way, also released an open source large language model, which some believe could prove more exciting than anything that we're using now. And I just wanted to point out this chart as well from the Journal today, because if you follow the dollars like we do, there is this major delta in R&D spending between Apple and other mega caps. Apple on the far left of your screen, its total R&D outlay last year represented less than 8% of its annual revenue. Alphabet and Amazon averaged more than 17% of their reported revenue. Meta, nearly 30%. Now,
What does this mean for a company, yo? The cost of building new tech, R&D costs as percentages of annual revenue. So how much they paid percentage-wise of building new tech and the revenue that came within it. Apple does a lot of stuff in-house, so I don't know if that means that this is kind of bogus, because since they have a lot of stuff in the house, like all their chips and everything, when there are events that they go over, they're doing a lot of the stuff on their own. I don't know if this means that, hey, their costs are just lower because of them actually doing that, and other companies could be outsourcing way more than Apple is, or Apple just does not invest much in creating new technologies and stuff like that, and they're not putting the money in to create something new and advance further. A lot of the stuff that they have is a lot of recyclable stuff. They're not really too much different than what was coming out previous years. The Vision Pro's been their new product released after how long? Like, so I don't know if to view that as a good or a bad thing right there. Tell me if you have more insight on how this works, this chart. Let me know in the comments because I'm curious.
Apple does need to play catch up and build up infrastructure and buy GPUs like some of its competitors. This could be a long uphill battle, but I say, guys, this is a very contentious issue in tech, whether AI is going to kind of be able to leapfrog some of the others because of that 2 billion installed base, or whether it really does need to play catch up here.
And Apple's going to be building everything with their Apple Silicon, so they're not going to be buying anything. That's what's taking them so long. They doing everything from scratch. They are doing everything from scratch. Everything gonna be alright. Cause Apple says so. They say so. But yeah. Apple's frustrates me. You know, I have enough Apple products to be frustrated. They frustrate me so much, yo. They give me a headache sometimes. I really am, like, June could be the greatest bust in all time if something is not done right. It can be either a big thing or it can be a complete bust. So everybody pray for Apple. If you like Apple, pray for them. It could get ugly. It could get ugly. They still gonna be around, of course, for some time. You know, they'll just do it next year or whatever. But I'm more worried about what they gonna do with it. Next thing, though, almost done with today's episode. Next thing, we have Tesla making some changes. So, since Tesla making some changes, and I already knew about some of these changes prior of Tesla letting non-Teslas charge at their stations and it creating some problems. I did know about this, but there's some more news around it. There's some recent news about it. This news came out after I posted my episode last week, and I already decided what I was talking about. So had to wait a week to talk about this, but we're gonna go into how Tesla is changing the game for EVs right now. Hopefully it's some good news because they've been going through some bad news and some tanking recently too, tanking all the way down the toilet train. So hopefully this is just something that's actually reasonable and good this time. So before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, help out with the algorithm, and please share it to other people. And we'll see.
This is it. The adapter that will charge non-Teslas at Tesla superchargers. It solves one of the EV industry's biggest problems. Kinda.
Getting this thing off is a pain. I dropped the dongle. There's plastic coming.
Nah, it just went from the most like adventurous, like dedicated, game-changing music. She's so hype, and then it just went to she like dropped the piece. She can't get the piece off, and things. It just went from like the most motivating thing to slowly like like it went from a peak. It was going to a peak high, and then it just went down so quickly. Like, oh gosh.
Off. So basically, no one likes me here.
Yes, I can now charge my Ford Mustang Mach-E at over 15,000 Tesla supercharger stalls in the US and Canada. And EVs from GM, Hyundai, and more will soon have the same access to Tesla stations.
But is it really the dream? Does it work? Is it fast? Am I gonna have to pay more?
To get the answers,
Charger number 1, number 2.
I attempted to charge my 2023 Mach-E at 10 different Tesla supercharger locations in my fine home state.
It's a beautiful morning in New Jersey. All right, everyone, let's do this. I gotta blend in somehow.
This is so corny, yo. Like, I didn't know the Wall Street Journal did this, yo. I didn't know they try to be comedic like this. I've never watched, I don't recall we ever watched them on this channel yet this year. And I saw them do one thing. I know they're late to this punch because Marquise Brownlee did this in New York with a Rivian months ago. So I already know they're doing this. Maybe the Journal's just getting to this. But like wearing a Tesla hat and putting the Tesla sign on the back of the car is, I don't know, it's kind of corny. But like, just do the test normally. I feel like it's the engineer and me. I just want to see somebody just do the test and show me the results. I want to see the product and see the results of the test given right back to me. That's just engineering me. Like in work, build something, test it. Build something, test it. Test it, build it, test it, build it. Yada yada.
Now.
Test number 1, the setup.
All right, this is it. It's kind of heavy.
The 1.6 pound adapter allows Tesla's North American Charging Standard plug, or NACS, to fit into a
She bought her own adapter for Tesla? Okay, that's okay. Okay. So my knowledge of what happened is, one, you didn't have to do that unless you have a charging station at home. I'm sure what that adapter is meant for. I knew that they made adapters. They made new Tesla stations for made brand new stations with the adapter attachment in the station itself, and you would plug it in and you would get the adapter on it, and then you can just plug in your other car that's not a Tesla. The only thing about that is Teslas have to park backwards into the spot, and they use a plug that's to like their left or their right on the opposite side. So if you have one car, non-Tesla car, facing one, pulling in frontwards and facing this way, like how she did, the Tesla to her left, if you're facing the back of the car, like the trunk, her trunk, in this case, the Tesla that comes to her left cannot charge their car unless they made the coils that came out way longer so that it can fit on the other side of the car. Which that's why Tesla was building these new charging stations so that these other cars can go into these spots. But what I think that she did is she bought an extra adapter for probably like one of those charging stations for at home, or you can use it at those stations that haven't been upgraded yet to do this. So maybe just in Jersey, they just haven't updated all of them. I know they did it in New York in some areas for these new upgraded stations, but yeah, her taking it out the box was just kind of a little weird, but I guess she can get more of her tests done by doing it this way rather than looking for those upgraded stations, because those upgraded stations, they're far. There's very few of them right now. So
non-Tesla CCS port.
And dongle on. And moment of truth. That blue is blinking. Looks like we're charging.
It's just that easy. Plug in and charge. To set that up, I had to do 2 things. First, install a software update to my car.
During the update, you may not be able to lock, unlock, or enter the vehicle.
Second, set up my payment info in the FordPass app. As soon as I plug in the charger, it knows it's my account. These adapters are free until the end of June 2024. You just have to register on Ford's website.
You get a free at $230. Damn. Yo, there's no way after June 30th, somebody's paying $230 for an adapter. It really costs that much? So just so you can charge wherever. I mean, I get the convenience. You can do it wherever. Yo, if you got a Ford or you got a car, yo, go get that free adapter right now. Don't wait until that. Don't forget spending $230. Forget spending $230. Get that free adapter now because I might get an adapter just for the heck of it. Might just get one for the heck of it because it's insane. That number is, I mean, I don't want to say that number is insane, but $230 for just an adapter piece. Just charge for you is charging it already, man. Or go to one of the Tesla spots that already has the adapter. Like, I can see how it could be useful. Like I said, how it would be useful earlier. You go into the unupdated Tesla spots and things like that. But hey, get your free adapter.
After that, they'll cost $230. Test 2, the spots. Now, obviously supercharger sites were designed for Teslas, which have their charging ports on the rear driver side. Tesla drivers always back into the spots and use the plug on the right. The Tesla charging cord is fairly short and doesn't stretch, and the Mach-E's port is on the front driver's side, so that means I have to pull in like so. This causes a problem. See, this charger belongs to this Tesla in this spot. This one belongs to this spot, but I had to park here to use it. That means that middle spot can't be used at all. Same deal here. If I park here, I need to use this charger, so this charger is useless. I'm effectively hogging 2 chargers. It was a problem when this white Tesla next to me couldn't charge.
And there's a line. Somebody else is waiting to charge right now.
Ford's next generation of EVs will have that NACS port. So I asked Ford CEO Jim Farley if the company would consider moving the port.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Yo, do you know how big of a deal that is to make that decision? They made a port for their cars to accommodate Tesla drivers. That's so considerate, yo. So that you're not a dick or an asshole. You're not an a-hole at charging stations. They made a port for the new Fords that are coming out so you can park in the Tesla spaces and use them how they're supposed to be used. That is so considerate of another company, yo. So Tesla doesn't have to go out and accommodate them. They accommodated Tesla to use their chargers. Oh my gosh. The world is getting better. The world's becoming a better place. Just seeing that makes me believe the world's becoming a better place, yo. Honestly.
Location.
We are committing to the standard, not just an adapter. We really like the supercharger solution and Tesla's solution technically, and that would obviously provoke the question of where do we physically put the port.
The good news is that Tesla's V4 charging stations already have longer cables. There's another issue I encountered. Not every supercharger is compatible with non-Teslas.
Let me check the car. And it says charging station fault. See manual. Good times.
Only V3 and newer superchargers that have been updated with the right software will work. The most straightforward way to navigate to these supported chargers while in the car would be using Ford's Charge Assist dashboard app. Except the app is slow and buggy.
We are at this location right now, but it says we are 15 miles away.
When I asked Farley about Ford's lagging,
dang, that sucks. Tesla got that. Yo, when I went to drive Tesla for the first time, you need a charger station. You go into the little thing, find chargers nearby, and you click on the thing, and then they give you the map to the trunk, and you just go right to it. I just hate waiting for something to charge, you know. Waiting for EVs to charge sucks. I'd rather just get my gas 2 minutes in and out. Teslas, you sitting there for half an hour like this. You know how much time it wastes? I'm a busy man. I can't be waiting that long. Like, you taking too much time just charging it, yo. I wasted easily an hour and a half plus charging a Tesla for, how long was I out there? 3 days? 3, 4 days? 4 days? I did drive a lot. Trust me, when I was out there, I drove a lot, but wasting an hour and a half of your time minimum charging stuff is disgusting. It's just disgusting. Oh my gosh. It was bad. And that's charging 3 times. It's bad. I didn't like that portion at all.
Software. He said,
There are certain things like charging where we have to do really well ourselves. We have to do better.
until then, your best bet is to use Tesla's smartphone app to find Ford-supported superchargers, and then punch in the address to Google or Apple Maps in the car. Test 3, the speed. When I charged my Mach-E, which has an extended range battery option, from 20% to 80% at an EVgo, it took 43.5 minutes. It cost $39.27.
Like, how do you have that much time on your hands? How do you get an EV and have that much time on your hands? It takes too long. It takes way too long. 43.5 minutes. I'm sorry. This makes me not want to get an EV at all. It literally makes me not want to get one at all. And then you paying $1 a minute on this. $1 a minute.
At a Tesla supercharger, it took 36 minutes and cost $25.20. While it's not an apples to apples comparison in terms of charge time, charging a Tesla Model Y long range from 20% to 80% took 32 minutes and cost $19.20. Yes,
Tesla giving
rates
out
are
that
higher
free
to
energy.
charge a non-Tesla.
They giving out that free energy, but to get non-Teslas, they say you gonna give us a little bit more. You gonna give us a little bit more. You don't got a thing, you gonna give me a little bit more bang for this energy. This for Tesla only. You pay a premium.
At a
That's what you get.
supercharger. If you want to get the same price as Tesla owners, you need to pay Tesla $13 a month for a supercharger subscription.
So what do
There's only a few reasons why you would do that. I'm gonna explain it for you too. And we're gonna wrap up on this note. We're gonna wrap up once when this video is done. But one, at non-Tesla places, you're already paying more money to go to them. So by going to a Tesla station, you're already paying less money than you're used to paying. But if you want an even cheaper price, you have to pay $13 a month. Now, for a subscription, that's how they're going to get you. I would say it depends on your lifestyle and stuff. If you're constantly going to Tesla stations, constantly, it's worth it because you're going to get that 13 back and more in time and cut the prices. But if you're not going that often, you might not get that 13. It's like for any subscription-based stuff in general, but it almost seems crazy to have. So keep that in mind. It's strictly based on how much you need to charge your EVs and how much you're driving them. Don't get finessed.
we learn from all of this charging today? We learned that this dongle is a pretty good deal.
Even with the parking issues and the inability to charge at all superchargers.
It's a good deal because it's free right now. Go grab your dongle from Ford. And this ain't sponsored by them. Go grab the adapter right now while it's $0, free $99, before it becomes $230 flat. You have until June 30th, 2024. No promo included. See, now I wish I had a Ford promo. Like, that's upsetting me, yo. Everybody like, comment, and subscribe so we can help me get a Ford promotion advertisement. Please subscribe. I appreciate you. You specifically, I appreciate you. If I get a Ford promo for EVs, I appreciate you. I'll be fighting on their behalf. Everybody will have a free Ford dongle by the end of my next episode if I had one. I'm being so serious. Even the ones that don't even need it, they're going to have it. Because now you know what they're going to do? They're going to go and rent a Ford charger or whatever, the electric EV one. And then they already got their dongle, so they just going to use it. And they just going to rent it because it's convenient. They already got this free thing from y'all. And what does that help y'all do? Advertise your cars. See, look. They need me on their department. Thank you, please.
Fingers crossed. Nope.
The speed, the breadth, and ease of use of Tesla's network is a game changer.
We're charging.
And one of my biggest worries, that Tesla owners would be pissed about my arrival, wasn't a thing. At least not this early.
Nothing should make us to feel like, no, you're Tesla, you're this and that. Same thing as a person. You're American, I'm not, or you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're black, you're white. No, nothing should be matter.
So yeah.
He put race in his joint. But nah, he right. Like, Tesla people are some nice people, yo. If you own a Tesla, you're most likely nice. If you have an EV in general, you're probably a nice person. Yeah. If you're never mind. I cracked myself up. But yeah. Does this make you want to get a new EV? Does it? Does it make you want to get a Ford? If it does, I appreciate you because it does nothing for me right now. I appreciate it. But if you learned something, don't forget to like. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments and stuff, and how much you like this video specifically. But episode's a wrap. That's it for this week. I just want to say I appreciate you guys all for tuning in this week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. It's going to help out a lot. Please comment. It helps out a lot. I replied or like every comment I see. I tried to catch up on them. I got to catch up on a few tonight after I'm done editing this. So just keep it up. I love talking to you guys down in the comments. I love seeing what you guys have to say about certain videos, especially when I break these long episodes up. So peace. See you all next week.